One of the major issues last year was efforts to internationalise all of our journals, and I think all three of us and the three journals have done a lot to move ourselves forward. We've just repeated a China webinar, and we had a sign-up of somewhere around 700 people across China. We had 405, I was told at the last count, attendance. They want to know about our journals, and we need to do more to reach out to them.
Well, what I think is happening at the moment is it's a very funny time in scientific journals, because we all get 10 emails a day with new journals. So apparently just publishing stuff is easy. Our job is to differentiate the sort of more serious publishing from the stuff that is around. And this is what we're working on, and I think working on together.
We're representing the entire gamut of pharmacology, basic pharmacology and clinical pharmacology. So, that there are a lot of highly specialised journals that will publish in just one facet of pharmacology, but our collective journals do everything across the board.
Yeah. All the way from basic to clinical translation, phase 3, epidemiology. And BJCP.
So the common denominator is how you communicate the science to people. This is, I think, what we need as a society and what the authors will want. So we're practicing video summaries. We're trying to find the video summary that not only moves but also communicates, and that's actually shown to be harder than we thought. We're moving on it.
But also in relation to that, it's the social media campaigning as well, because, particularly with the younger scientists now, Twitter and all of these various forms of social media, very important. And in fact, a lot of people get their publications that they download from tweets. Young people do now. I mean, I'm an old dinosaur, I still use PubMed, but a lot of youngsters use Twitter, or they see Twitter feeds that are highlighting a particular paper. So it's a very good way of having very high visibility of the journal and the publications that come out of the journal.
An easy to digest video works really well. Your idea, Adam, of bringing infographics, I think that's been an enormous success, not just for research, but also for explaining what our journals do and how we do it.
Of course, the other thing that we provide as well is the resource, which is the Guide to Pharmacology, which is part of the journal's remit as well, and that's a resource to all pharmacologists, whether they're young or old, and it's a fabulous resource, and it's a really important living document.
Every 2 years we take a picture at that time of the information that's contained within the Guide to Pharmacology, and we publish the concise Guide to Pharmacology, and we've just done it, and it's a fantastic resource that helps an individual pick the right drugs for the targets that they're interested in, ensure that they understand binding affinities, the best ligands, the best antagonists. All of the information is freely accessible from the Wiley website.
Yeah, it's a tremendous resource.
And the nice thing is that we have this connected set of journals across the field, which is, I think, increasingly important, is to keep all this connected. It's such complicated science and so widespread over the world that to have this sort of group of people with journals and a society that actually is able to connect that is I think, very important.
And the continuity between our three journals is illustrated in the virtual issues that we're able to do.
Joint between the three journals.
Where we identify material that's really quite exciting that we find is being published in BJCP, PRMP and BJP. We create these virtual issues, and again that's information for researchers, but it's also educational, and we do our best to try and capture what's hot at the moment and make that available.
I really think in the past couple of years we've gotten rid of the idea that when something walks on 4 legs, it is for the pharmacologist. As soon as it starts to work on 2 legs, something changes, and it's the clinical pharmacologist. It's not true. They're part of a continuum.
We've got a continuum, absolutely. That's very important.
I feel that as journals owned by our learned society, that we have a responsibility to identify ways and approaches that enable reproducibility.
From BJP's perspective, the obvious example is the design. Experimental design guidelines for authors.
Well, they've been massively contentious, and they've upset quite a lot in the field. But actually, what we've done, we've taken some serious effort to work out what is going to work best for pharmacologists in general at the basic preclinical level. what is going to provide us the data sets which are robust and most reproducible, but at the same time are doable.
It's not true that science always have to produce the same results. Actually, it makes it interesting when it does. But the basis of this is good quality, and the design requirements are that at least what comes out is
having the appropriate
is
controls
reliable
and-
quality.
Yes.
And then if it's not reproducible, you can see perhaps why it's not
Yeah.
reproducible.
Yeah, I always wonder the discussion about reproducibility and the suggestion that we should never have studies that aren't the same as each other if they are looking at the same pathway.
Oh, that's nonsense.
I mean, research is supposed to be one of us publishes a piece of work and somebody else then takes up the mantle, uses that to guide them in the next set of experiments they want to do, and they discover yes or no, they can reproduce the work of others and then move on. And they publish that. Now, if they can't, that's important too.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's how it gets corrected. I think we've sort of lost, some of the discussions have lost sight of the fact that that is what how the research world works.
Absolutely. Well, dogma's only dogma until it's disproven.
Absolutely.
Then it's no longer dogma. Then there's a new dogma.
And we're in the business of providing a forum for...
Absolutely. New dogma.
Yeah.
Yeah.